Okay, so Turkish football is facing a major integrity crisis right now. We're talking about a story that really makes you question the very idea of fair play. So let's break down this whole scandal, because it's already sent some serious shockwaves through the sport.
And it all kicks off with this one number, 149. That's right, 149. That's the number of referees the Turkish Football Federation has suspended. You can just imagine, it's put the entire league on high alert.
But look, this isn't just some random number. It's the headline of a crisis that's pretty much unprecedented. A huge betting scandal has just been blown wide open, and it strikes right at the heart of the game. We're talking about the officials, the very people who are supposed to be its impartial guardians.
So, how did the powers that be respond to all this? Well, the Turkish Football Federation, or TFF for short, they basically handed out a massive collective red card. They took some really sweeping disciplinary action against their own people.
And the action they took was pretty severe. We're talking 149 suspensions with bans that are going to last anywhere from 8 to 12 months. And, this might not even be the end of it. Turns out 3 more referees are still under active investigation.
Okay, to really grasp the severity of what's happening here, we've got to look at the data. And trust me, the numbers behind this investigation, they're just staggering. So get this, the investigation was huge. The TFF looked into 571 referees in the professional leagues. And what did they find? A whopping 371 of them, that's almost 2/3, had sports betting accounts. And out of that group, 152 were actively placing bets. I mean, the sheer scope of this is it's enormous.
And if you're sitting there thinking, this is probably just some problem in the lower leagues, well, you'd be wrong. This thing goes all the way to the top. 22 of these officials, and that includes 7 head match referees, work in Turkey's top league. This isn't some fringe issue. It's right at the center of everything.
Okay, this next number it's almost hard to wrap your head around. One single referee, just one, placed over 18,000 bets. 18,000. That's not a casual habit, That is a colossal amount of betting from someone who's supposed to be protecting the integrity of the game.
And believe it or not, that extreme case wasn't some weird anomaly. Nope, 10 other referees each placed over 10,000 bets, and another 42 of them bet on more than 1,000 football matches each. What this really shows is a deeply embedded culture of high-stakes betting among the very people officiating the games.
So, okay. Moving beyond just the pure numbers, the TFF is framing this as something deeper, a fundamental betrayal of the trust and, the honor that's supposed to come with being a referee.
Yeah, the TFS president, Ibrahim Hassi, he really didn't mince words. He came out and said, "Refereeing is a profession of honor. Anyone who tarnishes that honor will never again be involved in Turkish football." I mean, that's a pretty powerful statement, right? It draws a very clear line in the sand.
But with all of these revelations and these really strong condemnations, there is one critical, absolutely burning question that seems to be missing from all the official reports.
And it's the big one, right? Did they bet on the matches they were actually officiating? Because that's the line between simple misconduct and outright corruption, even match fixing. And right now, nobody's saying. We just don't have the answer.
So, where does this whole thing go from here? Well, this story is far from over. Formal investigations are now kicking off on a couple of different fronts. It looks like a two-pronged approach is unfolding. First, on the inside, the TFF's own disciplinary committee is still working through the remaining cases. But, and this is a big deal, the whole thing has now escalated. The public prosecutor's office in Istanbul has launched its own separate formal investigation. And that could bring much more serious legal trouble for those involved. And all of this really just leaves us with one final thought to chew on. This scandal, it's bigger than just one country or one league. It forces all of us, really, to ask a pretty fundamental question about the integrity of sports in general. I mean, when the referees, the very people meant to enforce the rules, are the ones gambling, who can you really trust to give you the final score?